Welcome to Living and Learning International's Professional Development Series, designed to equip you personally and professionally. Hi, my name is Rachel Ruskowski, and today we are talking about oral and written communication. Oral and written communication is one of the 8 key competencies that any employer looks for in a recent college grad. However, it's not enough to simply gain that competency, but to know how to use it day in, day out in the workforce. One may think, well, I text every day, I talk on the phone, I talk to people, I know how to have oral and written communication, but that's simply not enough. The difference between knowing how to communicate and communicating effectively makes all the difference. It has the ability to shift your relationship with your employer, to alter the amount of responsibility you get at work, or even help you make that sale. So let's dive in today on those 4 ways in which you can strengthen your oral and written communication in the workplace. Number 1 is communicating consistently. Setting up a weekly or bi-weekly meeting with your supervisor is going to ensure that you have continuous and constant communication, making sure that they're hearing from you, adequate updates and information that they need to know that you're working on or questions that you may have. But don't simply just have a weekly or bi-weekly meeting set up with your supervisor. You want to come to that meeting prepared. List out your notes, updates that you need to share about, things that you maybe have questions on. And that way, when you are meeting with your supervisor, you feel prepared and your time is used effectively. Number 2 is communicating with confidence. First, you want to communicate with confidence orally, making sure that you first feel professional, that you look the part, you represent your company well, you're dressed nicely. That is going to influence the way that you communicate confidently when speaking to people. So when you're at a meeting, don't simply just show up to the meeting, show up prepared. Have your talking points written out, maybe even practice what you're going to say in that actual meeting. After the meeting is over, anything that important that is decided upon, decisions that are made, etc., you're going to want to follow up in an email with those people saying, in our meeting today, we decided or we discussed, and write those out. You never want to later at a future date say, hey, remember that one time we decided XYZ? Instead, you want to have that paper trail documenting exactly what is being talked about in these meetings. Next is communicating with confidence in writing. A lot of times people will get their first impression of you based on an email that you send, a document that you've created, or a PowerPoint that you've made. Making sure that your written communication effectively communicates what you're wanting to say is key. So in these emails, address the person properly. Address the questions that they're asking in their email prior to yours. Making sure that you're sharing new information if needed. And of course, following up with an action item, letting them know, I'm looking forward to hearing back from you, or excited to hear your feedback. Anything that's going to give them that prompt to email you back. Remember, anything in writing reflects your professionalism, so do it with confidence, whether you're speaking to people or you're creating a document or writing an email. Number 3 is communicating around deadlines. For some of us, that is exciting to think about a deadline, a moment in time in which we need to have a project done. For others, that creates anxiety and stress and worry, knowing that we have to have something done by a specific time. So the best thing that you can do is over communicate around deadlines, making sure that your team members or your supervisor know, where are you at? What is your progress in that project? Are you close to being done? Are you struggling with certain items? Are you needing maybe even more time? Sometimes deadlines can be a little bit more flexible if you are over communicating the progress of where you're at. So ensuring that your team and your supervisor know this is where this employee is at, how they're feeling about this project, and what is being accomplished. And number 4, you want to communicate in escalating situations. When situations start to arise, you may get the sense that this could become an issue, or this might be something important that my boss needs to know. If you ever have those thoughts in your mind, absolutely communicate those. You never want what was first a small situation to become an escalated situation, and yet you hadn't even told your supervisor. So make sure that you're always over communicating. The more that you over communicate in the day-to-day, it's going to make those higher escalated situations easier to work around because you already have that sense of trust and deep, strong communication with who you're working with. So make sure that you over communicate when a bad or crazy situation is arising. In the workplace, communication is especially important in consistency and confidence around deadlines and with escalating situations. So how do you apply this to your current situation? Whether you're in an internship or you're working in a full-time job, here are 4 simple things that you can do. 1, find a system of communication that is going to help you communicate with your team and your supervisor. 2, give regular updates. Make sure that that communication is happening on a routine basis. 3, write down notes. Write down notes prior, during, and after a meeting. And 4, increase communication around deadlines and around escalating situations. These 4 simple steps are going to help set you apart in the workplace and even infiltrate your personal and social relationships. So all of this should help you to have stronger oral and written communication.